Crowne Plaza Hotel in Nashua, New Hampshire, home of the Liberty Forum, one of the biggest events for the Free State Project. Chris Lawless, the organizer of Liberty Forum?
One of the organizers, yeah.
Well, what's your official title with this thing?
Ron Paul's Freaking Giant is my official title. No, but I'm, I guess, the lead organizer for the Liberty Forum.
Okay, so for anybody that doesn't know what Liberty Forum is.
Liberty Forum is a chance for people to come visit New Hampshire, to check out what the Free State Project is doing here in New Hampshire, and we wanted to do it kind of like the opposite of PorcFest. So instead of camping, it's at a hotel. Instead of summer, it's in the winter. So it's kind of like the winter festival of PorcFest. Great way for people to meet residents of New Hampshire, whether they moved or natives, and we just want people to come, hear great speakers, great panels, and the best part is the networking.
So who are some of the speakers, not necessarily that are here this year, but the big names that have been here in the past?
Probably the biggest name would be Ron Paul. John Stossel has been here. We've had Senator Sununu when he was the senator of New Hampshire. He spoke. Bernard von Nothaus, the Liberty Dollar fame. He's been a speaker. We've had a lot of speakers. Wow. Judge Napolitano spoke a couple years ago. So we've had a lot of big names, and then we have a lot of like up and coming people too. So it's kind of a great mix that we have of the different type of speakers.
So who are some of the, I guess, up-and-comers?
Well, I think one of the things we kind of tried is to get the kind of the unknown, not necessarily the unknown, but kind of the different, unusual, because we don't want the same speakers every year, you get kind of bored.
Right.
So we have Essam, who's the guy who made those great little...
the drone posters.
The drone posters. He's going to be here speaking. We have Steve Cooksey, who was the one who was told he had to take his blog down about paleo dieting. So he's going to be a speaker this year. So we have like a great mix, and then we always have panels about what's going on here in New Hampshire for people to learn about that type of stuff. So,
all right, thanks a lot. Brent Venot from School Sucks podcast. What is Liberty Forum?
Oh, well, Liberty Forum is one of the big events in New Hampshire, one of the two, and soon to be one of the three, I understand, that they're adding one in Keene, which is very cool. But, you know, this is more formal. I like Liberty Forum. You know, it's more, there's hotels, that's a big plus. It's more civilized than PorcFest. It's a little tamer than PorcFest. So, first time I ever gave a speech, public speech, was at Liberty Forum in 2010. So, I like this event a lot.
And what is the School Sucks project?
School Sucks is a call-in show, a YouTube channel, a podcast, and a web community that is pretty much what we're trying to do, I would say, in a nutshell, is separate schooling from education, right? Two totally different things, pretty much the opposite of each other, real education versus, you know, what happens in the government schools. So that's our goal. That's what we do. Yeah, never let school.
So you hate children?
I love children. That's why I'm so opposed to school. That's a good interview question though. So you're against school, so you hate children. You could work for one of those news networks. Questions like that. That was a good one. No, what was I going to say? There was something important.
Never let schooling get in the way of education.
Yep. I'll actually give you we've got flyers, thousands of them, and that's what they say on them. That's the quote. So, yeah.
And the website one more time?
SchoolSucksProject.com. That's it? Do you want to ask me any questions that aren't related to this? Do you have any fun questions? Probing questions?
All right, you've got 3 minutes. Talk about whatever you want.
No, it doesn't work like that. You have to give me a prompt. Or we can just stop now if you want.
Okay,
if you're tired of holding the tripod.
No, I can think of just a very obscure, off-the-wall question.
Sure.
Free State Project. Mm-hmm. You're a mover. Mm-hmm. Do you like being called a porcupine or a Free Stater?
I don't like those labels. My story's actually interesting because I'm from New Hampshire, and I left here in 1995 to go to college, and was gone until 2007. Then joined the Free State Project and moved back. But I don't like it when people try to collectivize, you know, like say, oh, you're one of them. I don't like that. I've never called myself either. And I consider myself more of an ally.
Davi Barker from Silver Circle, also the author of Voluntary Islam and Other Essays. The newest Liberty book, and what I believe will possibly be the best-selling Liberty book published outside of a major publisher. Davi,
Yeah.
you're here at the Liberty Forum.
Mm-hmm.
What brought you here?
A plane. No, I've been coming, this is my second year here. This is the first year where I've had like actual responsibilities, so I've got a table and I've got some hours I've got to work and stuff like that. But I'm now a full-time agorist, so this is work for me now. So that's what brought me here.
You're wearing a Bitcoin badge?
Yeah, this is the Bitcoin badge, and I've also got the Voluntarist V badge. That's one of my projects is shinybadges.com. There's also a Shire Society badge and a black and gold flag pin badge. And I add new designs all the time. So that's
Okay, so 2 quick questions.
Yeah.
What are Bitcoins?
What are Bitcoins?
And what is voluntarism?
All right. Bitcoin is cash for the internet. It's a cryptographic commodity that people use as a currency online. It's
So it's like PayPal.
Yeah, it's like PayPal, except there is no dollars involved. It exists entirely on the internet, with the exception of some physical things people have embedded them in. It's not tied to any government or any central bank. It is regular. It's not even really regulated. It's essentially created by a complex mathematical algorithm that I don't understand. But the idea is that you can't inflate it, and so because it has scarcity, it has value. Because it has utility, it has value. And so it fulfills the criterion of money better than any of the paper that governments print.
And what are the criteria for money?
What are the criterion for money? Okay. It should have a intrinsic value or a utility. It should have a sort of a price determined by supply and demand rather than by fiat. And it should be both abundant enough to be commonly accessible, but also scarce enough to have a value. Some people boil it down to just stability and liquidity, but those are the basic ones. Voluntarism is a philosophy of property rights and non-aggression, which essentially states that the use of violence is not an appropriate tool to solve non-violent problems. So you could use it in an excess of self-defense, but you can't do things like threaten your neighbor to mow his lawn.
Peter from copblock.org.
I left from Keene, New Hampshire, Keene in the Shire, and in mid-July or mid-January, and then I went 4,000 miles, like from Keene south to North Carolina, west to Kansas City, and then northeast back through like Ohio. I went to Detroit and then New York and back. So I had a couple dozen stops along that route, and a lot of meetups. The primary objective was to help facilitate connections with folks local, and then also to have a conversation about police accountability and inject into that conversation a message of complete liberty. So to try to get folks to realize, like, hey, badges don't grant extra rights, and as long as you're not hurting anybody, you shouldn't be afraid. You should act confidently and things like that. So.
And then for anybody that's not aware, when you say police accountability, what do you mean by that?
I mean, for me personally, I mean that I think theft is wrong. At the end of the day, police, as it's currently structured, operates on stolen money. So I think that it's an institution that has a lot of perverse incentives. So there's never going to be accountability had in that system. So
I mean, I grew up in Massachusetts, so I'm here at Liberty Forum to try to see what we can do to stop the terrible effects of all the exodus from Massachusetts. People coming here after screwing up Massachusetts, they're going to come here and screw up New Hampshire. No way, baby. We're going to stop that from happening. This is too great of a state to let these interlopers come in here and screw it up.
So do you plan on one day moving to New Hampshire?
I don't know. It depends on my family. Like, I don't know. But I'm doing what I can from where I am, and I promote the Free State Project whenever I can.
Terran Lupo,
my favorite person.
author of Pirates of Savannah, One Nation Under Blood, and some other stuff. Stash Your Swag, which was one of the first books you did, I think?
Yeah, I think that was one of the first.
So how long have you been active in like the Liberty stuff and an author and
I'm coming up about 20 years as being an activist. I started really young at 88 in the Ron Paul campaign, and But other than that, I really only got serious about writing about 5 years ago. And actually, Daryl helped me out. He was the one who pretty much introduced me how to self-publish, and I ran with it. Now I did a lot, so kudos to Daryl.
So what is your most successful book?
By far, Pirates of Savannah, my first book out of the gate, still sells really well. I think my new book, One Nation Under Blood, is my best book, and it's got great ratings, but I'm still trying to push the sales.
Right now, as a consumer, a lot of our health choices, what are available to us, have been decided by an external regulatory board. Call it the FDA, the CDC, the federal government in general. This is what's legal, this is what's not, and I like to trust people's own intuition as far as what they choose to use for their health. And
so you think that like holistic and homeopathic sort of treatments should not be regulated by the government?
I don't know about regulate. We need some regulation, but not necessarily making it illegal. And that's where the regulation comes in, where the FDA stamps something as being illegal based on politics and money versus whether it works or not. And that's where it's messed up.
Well, the first regulations of medicine came about to keep out the holistic and homeopathic treatments.
According to them. Where you as a consumer, me as a consumer, why can't I choose that for myself?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's my whole soapbox is informed consent, give me a choice. We're not giving the choice because we're not giving all the information. You know, so part of my job is to help disseminate information so that you as a consumer, you can make a better choice for your health based on what the government official recommendations are.
Garrett Ian, Free Concord, what are you doing here in Nashua?
I'm here to attend the 2013 Liberty Forum.
What specific part of Liberty Forum is it that you are here to attend?
Well, it's the combination of people and ideas brought together to see different sorts of ideas represented from different ends of the libertarian and anarchist spectrum. And every year I like to see the progression of ideas and where different people are going with things. It's a good meetup. It's a good networking.
This is the Bitcoin machine. Did you take this? No. You put in your worthless FRNs and it sends Bitcoins to your phone.
Okay, so is somebody going to use this thing?
So hard. I don't have a phone.
I have a phone, but not a phone. Oh, you don't have a phone, but not a phone.
I have a phone. You can put the dollar in.
He's gonna get your Bitcoin. That's okay.
I'll donate it to his campaign.
3 Bitcoin tokens, actually. Yeah, donate.
Next year or something, whenever you run for governor.
Jared is very generous. Well, take it. You take 5.
Wait, I hit this button first.
How many times have you done this, Darren?
I don't know.
You check the address?
Okay, yeah, 1 5
It's ready to go.
Okay, we're good.
Please insert a bill.
Now just put it in.
Get rid of a worthless Abe Lincoln. Yeah.
And then I get some credits on a thing.
Okay, so now it's saying you've inserted $5. You're going to buy 0.161 Bitcoin. Let me hit the button. Go ahead.
May I? Okay.
Please do the honors.
All right.
Now it's sending you the Bitcoins on the Bitcoin network. And there it is. It shows a QR code of your transaction. If you want to check on it, you can scan that. It also tells you that's the price you paid, that's the amount of Bitcoins you got, and that's...
And I can verify that they're on their way to me on my phone.
How are you doing?
Chatting with Ferb, who is the executive director of Freedom Book. Well, what is your title?
I call myself the managing editor. You can buy more.
The managing editor of Freedom Book Club.
Barely managing. Just barely hanging on by the skin of my teeth over here, folks.
And Freedom Book Club chooses a book of the month every month from online votes, and then from all of the books of the month for any given calendar year, you have a Book of the Year award that you give out.
Yes, as you well know, since Daryl is the proud recipient of the 2010 Book of the Year, this is a misprinted promotional item.
Some of the other books of the year being Mary Ruwart's Healing Our World, The Politics of Obedience, and Tom DiLorenzo's The Real Lincoln.
This is my own personal business card, so we can produce business cards that have actual trade value. You know, it's got the silver embedded in the actual card.
And it's got a QR code. What does the QR code do?
This QR code will you know, you scan it with your phone, it'll pop up our website, and at the top of it will be, here's what this card is and here's what its value is. And underneath that, you know, it'll have what all the cards are and what their value is. And then the other one down here goes to the Silver Calculator app, which allows you to have on your smartphone the ability to do the calculations, like, you know, how many cards are worth this much, and it does the regular silver coins, the bullion, the pre-64 U.S. currency. I think they've added Canadian currency. Maybe they...
Canadian, a lot of the Mexican silver coins,
oh, nice.
The Libertad,
yeah.
The francs. They've got the francs on there.
Right. I did hear about that.
So basically all of the major silver that anyone would be interested in buying and selling and trading.
Including Shire Silver. And of course, you know, we do accept Bitcoins for the Shire Silver. We've gotten several orders for that. So people who are a little unsure about Bitcoins can easily convert them into sound money by buying some Shire Silver.
Okay, so Ron, tell me what's going on here.
Well, we're going to be producing some money, actual manufacturing of the Shire Silver currency. Step one, we get these printed at a professional printer, and they come already with the corners cut, but we have to cut out the middle, which, depending on what the denomination is, it's like a half-inch circle or a 1-inch circle or an oval or a square. This one is the easiest one to do. Which, of course, you know, you got to give an economist the easy one.
All right. Well, so
first you need to punch the hole.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to give me an example. Like,
sure.
I've never used it.
Well,
all right. So
just you stick it in and squeeze the handle, and try to get it from this way.
So you're saying I want it to be like that?
Exactly, yeah. Centered and all the way inserted.
Alright, that's about as far as it goes.
Yep.
It's reasonably centered.
Yeah.
And you're saying go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead and squeeze that.
Wait, hold on. Okay. Hold on, I want to be super precise now.
Yeah, it is good to be as good. You know, there's a little bit of slop that can happen. Okay, so now you've got the card ready to go.
All right.
And grab one piece of the laminate material.
Okay.
And flip it open. It's like a book. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Stick the card in there.
This way?
Yep.
All right.
Try to get it centered so that there's enough laminate around the edge.
It's okay.
And grab one piece of the silver that's been pre-measured. It's already been verified, accurate weight, and insert it into the card so that it goes on the back side.
Like this?
Yeah. Okay. Although it's easier to see when you flip the card over.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
And try to center it and make it look as nice as you can, but... Yeah. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be good enough.
All right, I'm satisfied.
Okay, and then wrap it in the protective sleeve.
Like so?
Yep. And pass it through the machine. The machine will grab it and slide it through. That way.
So this one?
Yep. The folded edge first.
All right. All right.
Would it be accurate to say you're showing people how to make their own currency?
Yes.
All right.
Is it grabbing? How do I know?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's got it.
Oh my gosh. Wow, all right.
And any second now, it'll be coming out the other side. There it is. And it's done. So, yeah, just grab it, pull it out of the sleeve, and we'll see how bad you messed up. Woohoo!
It's okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, show the camera.
All right, everybody, there you go. She's a beauty.
Yeah. And then wrap it in one of the protective sleeves.
Okay.
And then feed it through the folded edge first. And it'll grab it and pull it through. And when you get good at it, you can do one card preparation in the amount of time it takes for one card to go through.
I see. Yeah.
So you can keep the machine running at 100%.
Do you ever get tired of doing it? I mean,
oh yes.
Yeah, I bet. Right. Do you have assistants at all? Or?
I have hired some people on temp basis.
When you get those $4,500 orders.
Well, yeah. Well, or most of the time I just do it myself and you sit there for
all right, here we go. Yes. Money.
A near perfect job.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Thank you.
It's fabulous. So creative.
And you may keep that one. That's yours.
Thank you very much. Yeah. This is great entrepreneurship.
You are Patrick Barron.
Yes.
You ran for Congress in Massachusetts as an independent,
right?
Against a 7-term incumbent.
Yes.
Was that incumbent defeated, or is he still in Congress as part of the like 90% that are consistently reelected?
Yeah, he's part of the 90%. One is Massachusetts is heavily Democratic, so the odds are in his favor to begin with. What I came up with throughout the campaign is how the money flows within Washington that creates gridlock. That basically members of Congress pay fees to their party for the committee assignments, and in return for that, they get sponsorship on bills and things like that that help them campaign to get reelected. So basically it's a pay-to-play system. And if you don't support the system, if you don't pay into your party, they don't promote you onto committees, you don't get legislation, you can't use the DNC, and you won't get reelected. So it's an openly transparent pay-to-play system. And I have a website called definethemachine.com, which kind of walks through the history from 1996 through today of how that works.
Do you think Washington can be reformed? Or should we just completely abolish the federal government and have 50 separate nations?
No, I think it can be reformed. I think it can be reformed. I think this is a good step in the process. That basically, it won't be reformed as long as they're bribing each other. You know, everybody says they need campaign finance reform, but 50% of what they fundraise, they're using to bribe other people. So if they could just stop bribing each other and function as independents, if you had 535 independent representatives, you would pull towards the middle and find moderation. But the system is designed to polarize. So I think it can be reformed. I think this might help. That's why I'm pushing it.
And you guys are with Anti-War New England?
Yes, Facebook page. We're trying to support antiwar.com. And the idea is my wife wants to coordinate local anti-war protests and letter writing campaigns, anything that would actually occur in New Hampshire, so that people don't have to travel to New York to do a protest.
Okay.
So if anybody's interested in anti-war activities, check out our Facebook page, Anti-War New England.
Step right up. We got the future financial transactions right here. Get your Bitcoin. Get your Bitcoin here. Get them all. It's still $28. I don't think we should have time.
That's right. There is now a Bitcoin ATM machine at the Liberty Forum. Who knows how much further this will go into the real world. All right. Well, I'm sitting here with Matt, and you are you the inventor of this ATM?
One of them.
Tell me about it.
So this machine is running on a Raspberry Pi. It's running Linux. It takes dollar bills and it will sell you bitcoins. So you basically scan your QR code from your smartphone for your Bitcoin address and put in your dollars. It takes ones through hundreds, and hit the button and it sends you bitcoins. Couldn't be easier.
What would you say is name a difference between this and a real or a normal ATM machine?
Well, in an ATM, typical ATM, you have to have an account at a bank to use it, and you need a card. And normally you have a balance at the bank that you're just going to withdraw, and it will spit out dollars. In this case, this is the opposite direction. You're putting dollars in, and you don't need an account at a bank. You just need a Bitcoin address, which anyone can create.
Do you have a vision for these actually appearing on many street corners the same way an ATM does? Could it?
Yeah, probably. I think probably where it's going to start first is merchants who take Bitcoin now. Their customers are going to say, what's Bitcoin? They'll explain it. How do I get Bitcoins? If they have a machine like this, then they can just say, well, we sell them right here.
A matter of like figuring out.
And are you already in the state? You live in New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Or? Oh, nice. That's good.
3 years.
Oh, good. Awesome. That's good to have. Good to have something like this originating here instead of originating somewhere else. What's the next step for this for you?
We've got to industrialize it, so we've got to make it so that it can be manufactured.
Now, are you connected with the hackerspace in
I've never been there.
Okay, for some reason I think it might be. It sounds like something that would come out of there.
Yeah.
All right. Anything you'd like to add about this project, Matt?
Not at the moment. I can't think of anything. Kind of camera shy, I guess.
Anyone else got anything like this going on anywhere else?
There have been a couple of other attempts to create Bitcoin ATMs. I think this is probably the furthest along toward being something that could be commercialized.
All right, let's see it happen. Thanks so much for doing this. You're probably doing more good than me and getting less credit. See you out there, Matt.
All right.